Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello. We got or just some followers here. Tue. Ciao,
Hi,
Tue.
Tue. Hello. Hi, Marco. There is also
Ciao, Marco. Let's wait a couple of minutes to start.
Yeah. Just share the
Jackie.
link on.
Yes, thank you.
Riccardo. Hello,
Good.
David. Hello, Ale. Way.
Ciao, Ale. Ciao, Riccardo.
Ciao, Nicolò. There is also Nicolò.
Yeah.
Ciao, Nico.
Yeah. Italians fans. Erik.
Gotta build up my Italian fans. Come visit some more.
Yeah.
Erik, how are you?
I'm good.
This live.
Busy. I'm busy.
Busy.
I lied. I'm busy.
Why?
Adepticon is in 2 weeks.
Isn't just 2 weeks? So you have time to paint 10 orcs, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see your new stuff.
So let's, before to talk about Adepticon, because you got few things there, you got a workshop, and maybe you're going to participate to the Golden Demon. Maybe let's talk.
Maybe.
maybe.
Okay.
So, by the way, this evening for us and this afternoon for you, Erik, we are with the mighty Erik Swinson, probably the painter of the moment.
Absolutely.
Because last year
and of the future.
Yes, right.
No, I'm retiring now. I did everything.
Okay.
You want everything, so you can retire. But by the way, cheers, mate. A beer with Erik Swinson.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Why didn't you tell me that I had to bring something to drink here? Why did you tell me that I have to bring a beer here?
The title is A Beer with Erik Swinson, but I can put an energy drink with Erik Swinson. By the way, I prefer the Monster in any case.
So there is a first question here about you, Erik. So have you started your Golden Demon thing yet?
No.
That's good.
It's cleaned. It's ready to paint, but I haven't started painting it yet.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You still have time. Don't worry. You still have plenty of time.
Sure.
And yes, Ricardo, barbecue, absolutely.
Yeah. If you got some links to share, Erik, please put in a comment. Even in the private, we can share to the guys here in the chat.
If you want to use the private chat, feel free, and we will share it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Okay. I see now the comments. Niccolò. Niccolò. Ciao, Niccolò.
Yeah.
Doc. Stefano.
Riccardo. Okay. Painter of the future.
So,
By the way, if any of you have a question that
yes, if anyone has a question, please write in the comment. We can read to Erik.
Yeah, sure.
And
can I start with
begin.
the most boring one, but at least for me, is always interesting. That's
question.
Erik, how did you start painting miniatures?
Yeah, this is a classic one.
So I used to paint Gundams actually when I was like a teenager. Yeah, like big ones. And then a friend introduced me to Warhammer 40K. Like I think most of us probably. He was like, "Hey man, I heard you like I know you like painting models. There's this thing that you can paint models and play a game with them." Because I like video games and stuff too, so that's how I got into it. And then it turns out I just like painting the figures more than actually playing the game.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
So your passion grew through the figures rather than Gundam. I suppose. Are you still painting Gundam or just?
No. I've got a ton in my closet, but yeah, I don't have.
They are too easy to paint with casted shadows. They are too easy volumes.
I've always kind of wanted to try that, like the animation cell shading thing that some of the guys do, where they paint the like all the black lines on the edges and everything.
Yeah.
But I've never done it, so I think it'd be cool to try that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be.
Do you have a community there to share in life the figures or Gundam or the stores?
Yeah, we have some pretty big shows that are like that. Model shows typically have like a sci-fi category. Like the MFCA has a sci-fi category for stuff like Gundam models and things. So,
the clubs.
Clubs, I'm sure there are some, but I've been out of that for so long now that I wouldn't even know where to go, because when I was doing it, Facebook wasn't a thing. So, no, I'm sure there's now like online communities and things. We used to post our pictures on forums.
Yeah, sure. And friends there that are your passion to paint figures or Gundam or whatever.
Yeah, we have we've got a pretty decent local community that at the local game store that paints a lot of figures, but the thing about the US is everything's like really spread out, so you kind of have to find like most of when we meet up is at like the big shows. So
don't you play anymore with Warhammer 40K figures or any?
I play Kingdom Death.
The monster.
Yeah,
the monster one. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's my favorite board game by far.
Whoa. I have it in my cabinet, still unopened. The first version from the first Kickstarter. I never had time to play it, to play with it, but I have plenty of friends that keep asking me, "Oh, please open it. Let's play it."
You should. It's really fun.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
So, Tue, the first question from Tue is: what do you think? Well, you read English better than me, so
what do I think the painting community lacks the most? The one thing that you would add to it if I had a magic wand? That's a tough question. What do I think the painting community lacks the most? I think that there's a lack of, and I think this is changing, honestly, because of some people like Alfonso Banshee, but I think there's a bit of a lack of courage to try new things. But I think that's changing a lot. I think if you asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said that, there's like these very hard, people think that there's like these hard rules that you have to paint a certain way. But I think that's changing quite a bit. So honestly, I think it's going in the right direction, and people are just becoming more and more creative. So
more freedom, in that perspective, to have the courage to try new things.
Absolutely.
And what did you make change? Or you started in a way. Has been something that changed your point of view, because you are very fresh view. Very let's say
different.
I can, yeah.
Unique.
More closest to the 2D art.
But that's comes a lot from where I originally wanted to be an illustrator. I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was young.
Really? So you are good to draw.
I can draw okay.
I want to pass me something. I want to see or show.
All right, hold on. Let's see. I've got an old sketch pad here. Let's see if I can find something. Here you go. Can you guys
Not an orc. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool.
Beautiful.
So
wow.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a comic book artist. So a lot of my inspiration for the way I paint, I don't look at a ton of what other miniature artists are doing for inspiration. I look at Magic the Gathering artwork or video game artwork, things like that. Is what can I try and achieve in miniature? And that's why a lot of times I'll get comments like, "Oh, I thought this was a 2D illustration" on my posts. Dave loves Wolverine, by the way. It's his favorite character.
Do you still keep video games as an hobby, or do you just?
I played Elden Ring. That's about it. I don't find that much time to play video games anymore. I tend to watch people play video games on YouTube more than I'll put it on. I'll put it on the computer at the painting desk and paint and listen to it and look up once in a while. Nice. When the music starts to get intense, that's when I'll look up.
Hey, I have to look it.
I know. I enjoy also to watch YouTube, the video games in YouTube, just to the cinematic films. I love that rather than play, because I get bored just playing.
I know. So I don't know if you guys could figure this out, but I'm pretty competitive. And
really?
I also really am a completionist. So if I start to play a video game, nothing else matters if I start playing a video game.
Okay. Are you the kind of video player that have to complete 100% a video game, or just? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm doing everything.
Okay.
So it's better that you stopped, because you got time to paint.
Yeah, I know I can't do both. So.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So at some point you changed. You had this philosophy to get inspiration from video games, illustration, art book, and but if you, probably I know the answer. Girardes, Alfonso gave you something to the tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I went when Alfonso first started his Patreon. I was one of the first people to sign up for his coaching. I had gotten to a pretty high level at that point. I never posted anything online when I was first painting. And I entered a contest, and then we met at Nova, and he told me about his Patreon, and he took me from a pretty good level, and then within 6 months to my first month, he sent me no show.
Okay.
So
with an orc. Okay, I remember well.
We have the photo. Lancho,
Yeah,
if you
I'm
want
going to
share some
share.
photos,
Yes, yeah, I
yeah,
got it. Just
that would be.
first off,
So
Ricardo
your
is
first.
asking.
Okay. Well,
Sorry,
let's
just a
go with
second.
Ricardo.
Just reading this. Do you think miniature painting would survive if separated from the gaming community?
No. I think it's a good. I don't know if I'd want it to. Right. I think that gamers is a good way to introduce people to miniature painting. They discover it through that. I would have never discovered it without the game, right? So I think it's a good thing. I know personally, like I have a lot of I run a Discord, and I have a lot of people that attend Nova that got into it through Warhammer, and now they've been introduced to larger scale figures and they paint bigger figures now.
Cool.
I personally don't understand from Ricardo question why this relationship should be toxic in any way. By the way, Albert, I agree.
Ciao, Albert.
I also agree with you, Eric, because I think that it's a parallel way to have an hobby, and we can improve just like the paint the gamers can improve in painting. So it's in each situation you can find toxic people. So
Yes, of course. Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think gamers are more than us, more people than us. So
absolutely,
that's the only thing. So
absolutely.
Yeah, just
So
I'm preparing some pictures.
Okay.
Toxic level understanding of painting is very different, and there is a lot of games going around from both sides. I'm not very convinced about this because I'm not a gamer, and I don't know very well the world of gamers. But when I met some gamers, I didn't find difficult to talk about painting and share, and it's a different comprehension about that. But
yeah, I mean, just to say that, like Adepticon, Nova, I've got so many Americans that are interested in attending Monty now. Like the standard category in Monty from American painters, I think is going to be a lot bigger this year.
Fantastic. Wow.
Can't wait.
About USA shows, can you tell us if we want to move there, which one we have to
attend?
Adepticon is probably the biggest show.
Okay.
That's in Chicago. That's the one coming up soon. That's the one. It has Golden Demon, the resin beast, which is Creature Caster. It's got P3, which is the Privateer Press painting competition. There's a bunch of. It used to have the Crystal Brush that went away. So I would say it's the biggest show in the U.S. for miniature, like fantasy miniature painting. The only issue is I think a lot of people wish that it had an open competition for Chimera figures or whatever else. Then Nova is probably the next biggest growing show.
Okay.
They had to move to a new hotel this year. The number of entries in the show continues to grow. So more than just Warhammer figures, also it's becoming a lot more large scale figures and things.
Wonderful.
Okay. So unfortunately, I will never be anymore at Adepticon because my son has his birthday in the same days, so it's impossible for me. But I will think about Nova. Thank you.
Come to Nova. That's in September.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Ciao, Wendy.
Ciao.
And And what about why in Adepticon we see only the Golden Demon event and classes, about painting, but we never see from Europe the other two shows, the other two competitions. Do you think?
I think they're a little smaller. They're a little more focused. So I feel like unless you're looking for them, they're not great about getting the work out there. It's just that Golden Demon is so widely, known.
Golden Demon is Golden Demon everywhere. So
yeah,
that's true too.
You should have choose. You're right.
Timing is important.
Speaking of Golden Demon.
Yeah. Speaking of Golden Demon.
Yeah, that was your entry of last year in Chicago.
Yes.
Golden Demon, you won a wonderful gold in Open, and it was your first Golden Demon. No.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Cool.
So I had actually attended a Golden Demon, but this was before I started display painting. In 2009, I think, or somewhere around 2010, something like that, in Baltimore,
without beer,
Maryland.
Without beer.
No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was just shorter.
Okay.
But it was one of the last Golden Demons in the U.S. Aaron Lovejoy won the Forge World award with his Avatar Kane, and
nice guy, really. Yeah. And
did you already read this question? Who are Erik's favorite painters?
Okay, so
if you can say, but I mean, anytime we say that, there's no list,
Yeah.
Favorite 2D painters: Frank Frazetta, Wei Wang, who is, if you don't know Wei Wang, he's the guy who did all the box art illustrations for World of Warcraft and a lot of other Blizzard titles. And then miniature painters, there's a lot. I'm gonna miss people. I'm sorry, but so it's interesting because Mark is one of my favorite miniature painters, but he doesn't paint my favorite figures.
Okay.
It's weird. I love how he paints, but there's no piece that I go oh, that's I want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carrillo, obviously. I think if I could have if I could, steal a figure from a show, I would steal one of Albert's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
In the meantime, I'm moving with the pictures. Some your lovely orc here.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Erik
one was
Swinson
for Squidmore. I think the orc thing came from the one I did at Monty. I think that
the first one.
Yeah. I think that's what led to all the other everyone asking me for an orc.
But are you actually passionate about painting orcs, or are just
I like
the commission? Okay.
No, I like painting orcs. I don't know if I would paint as many as I do if I wasn't being paid to paint them.
Oh, let's see
come on, guys! I painted a Minotaur. Why isn't everybody asking me to paint Minotaurs now?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So
another beautiful figures from an artwork. This is from Blizzard, right?
Yeah, that's another Warcraft figure. So I did the first one with Joaquin. Joaquin and I did the orc in 2019, and then he actually sculpted this one for me right afterwards. So I've had that before I entered that. I had that figure for 2 years sitting unpainted. So we literally, like, as soon as I got home from Monty, I was like, okay, that was cool. Let's do another one, but bigger.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah, cool.
And why didn't you painted it immediately?
It was entirely meant to be like the next Monty project, and because of COVID, it just sat around.
Lucasfina works. Wonderful.
Absolutely amazing. I saw your videos about this one, and well, I mean, I'm following you anytime you release a video. It's very interesting to follow. I'm quite sure that everyone know that Erik has his own YouTube channel, but I'd like to remind, follow his channel. Please share the link. And it's very interesting to follow up.
Yeah.
Very long videos, hours of painting.
It's so what it is. It's just the replay of I do a Twitch stream on Wednesday nights. Most of the Europeans are probably asleep by that time, but I do a Twitch stream Wednesday night, and then I just upload the Twitch stream to YouTube.
Okay.
But it's really cool to follow. Really interesting.
Oh, this one is another wonderful.
I don't see there's comments. I can't see the comments.
Two guys just made a joke about the Minotaur from Erik. So you had the models for 700 and more days, and you decided to only use the last 20 days before the deadline to paint it.
I mean, it worked out.
Pretty well.
That's a good strategy. Yeah.
Beautiful figures, this one as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Very well.
I love it. Yeah.
Very well balanced. Very beautiful.
Wonderful.
Very beautiful.
Actually,
companies, I can paint pretty ladies and horses too. Not just green muscly guys.
Yeah. So your next one will be a pretty lady on an orc.
Absolutely.
Beautiful ambient.
Yeah.
Really good study on the shadows and light source.
Erik is a master in this topic. Casting shadows, lights, always beautiful.
Your study about casted shadows is very deep. You create a real
illusion,
a kind of a strategy with your figure to, and then you just translate in painting. So
exactly. So this one in particular was I set up like the lights with like I took photo reference of the figure. So there was like a light coming through the doorway from behind, and then I used a lighter to create the lantern light, and I took pictures, and I composited the two pictures together in Photoshop. And
wow.
So you've got a deep study at the beginning before, to start the paint job, right?
It depends on how complex the figure is. I knew that this one was like, if it's some simple cast shadows, like then I can add them later, and I don't have to, take photo reference. But for more complex ones like this one, I don't think I could have done like the crisscrossing shadows on the floor, because you have the moonlight from behind, and then
that is so complicated to imagine. So really,
it's really wonderful.
You need to plan everything. Yeah.
Can you see here this? This light casted. Because in this perspective, they work very, very well. How is in real? If I turn, is you've got the same sense, same sensation, or it's quite different?
I think so.
Yeah. Really? Because I don't have idea. I never seen this in real, so I was just wondering.
Fabrizio, you judged it at World Model Expo, right?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah,
me to.
yeah. No, it works. To me, it works. There is maybe you have a sensation during the movement of the figure that is something is strange, because obviously that kind of light, if you move the figure, can't be complete. So but when you watch it at a miniature, you only need to search for a focus, and this kind of movement in painting go directly to the focus immediately. So that means that it works. It works. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm
Works really
curious.
well.
I'm curious too. I'd like to see this in real, just to give me an idea, not because I want to, find out something that doesn't work, just because I love everything. I'm the person that says, when I used to hear, someone that says metal, no metal, it doesn't work in real. I say no, it's not true. It works. If it's
the
well
same.
done, it works.
Yeah, it's
You
the
know?
same. It's the same sensation when you move metal, no metal. You have a little step, then you can say there's something, but you immediately go on the. If you go immediately on the focus point, that's complete.
Everything fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that paint metal on metal is the same as paint a face. When I paint a face, I used to to use a light source and paint the face compared to that light source. So if I turn the figure, shouldn't work, but if it's well done, it works. So the metal, no metal, is the same. So I'm just asked the question not because I want to find out something that wouldn't work, but just because I'm curious, because I'd like to see in real, because I think that going to increase the feelings, the sensation that a figure can give.
Imagine the orange square at the door. If you move it, obviously it can't be real. It can't be in movement with the lights, but it works. It works because of the line, of the colors, and because you immediately recognize it as the square, the light square of the lamp through the tape.
But Erik, I have a question for you. Why, or to better say, why did you started this deep analyze of casted shadows and lights in this really deep way?
I think because I come from illustration background, I find the like hazy kind of overcast lighting to be boring, right?
Okay.
It's just like, that's not how, if a figure stands out in the sun, it casts a shadow.
Yeah.
Like, so why not paint cast shadows on our figures?
Absolutely.
The like, everybody looks like they're under studio lights and with diffusers and everything on them, so they never. You can gain more dramatic light by having right hard shadows, soft shadows, bounce lights.
Okay, so you try to recreate the reality, right? Or...
Well, sometimes it's recreating a little beyond, like a little more than reality, right? It's like if you go back to the previous one, right? The skeleton, the rim light, the blue rim light on the rocks, that might only work great from this direction. If you turned it like 100%, like 90 degrees to the side, it might not work. But from an illustration standpoint, it makes sense from that direction.
Okay.
So
because a bidimensional figure needs to be three-dimensional. To search for a three-dimensional.
So you're creating like a 2.5D illustration, right?
Okay. Interesting.
But it works on a figure like this because that background like stops you from spinning the figure all the way around.
Yeah.
Like there's no point looking at the back. So that kind of rim light effect works.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes.
But by the way, I think that if I turn the figure a bit in 90 degree, I can imagine that the cold light comes from inside. I mean, from inside, from the door. I mean, from the warm light is just from the lamp, So I can see in any case if I turn a bit the figure.
Yeah, I mean, it works mostly it's only when you really like turn it around back like the other way. Because it's like if you ever tried to paint a squirrel's tail, have you ever painted a tiny squirrel? The reason a squirrel's tail has like a white outline is because the light like passes through the hair and the hair diffuses the light.
Yeah.
So no matter which direction you look at a squirrel from, it always has a white outline around the tail. So it's like impossible to paint that from every single angle.
Yeah, sure.
And the same thing kind of works on the way rim lights work.
On those lights. Yeah.
And here, very green, very nice.
Yeah,
and you also study this kind of study. I mean, here the main colors is green, and you do this kind of study as well.
Yeah, I like to try and stick to pretty simplified palettes, like color palettes. I'll paint a lot of stuff with like complementary, split complementary.
Okay.
Even like I would call this like an analogous, like pretty. Other than like the little splashes of magenta on the plants here and there, it's basically green, the whole figure.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a good exercise, and honestly, it can make your figures look a lot better just by simplifying
the colors.
Yeah, so nice.
Beautiful.
Green like an orc.
Here we go.
An orc.
There's an orc.
Wonderful.
Amazing. I saw this in Monte San Savino as well.
Is there a particular reason why did you choose those miniatures, or no?
No, these are all. This one's a box art, so this one was. They chose me. Diego from Hera chose me for this figure. So.
No. I mean, reason for you to send us those particular collection of pictures.
I mean, I think it. So that one, obviously, I think represents like what people think of my. When they think of my figures, they think of, that figure or, other orcs that I've painted. The next one, however, I think is an interesting one, just because.
Go on.
So this is one I did on stream, and I don't know if you've seen the box art, but the box art is an orc.
Yeah.
Is an orc lady, and I really enjoy figures like this because they're simple enough that they're really easy to change the interpretation of the figure entirely, just with like very little conversion work. Yeah. So all I did for her was cut off her little teeth, and she had a necklace, and you can change her entirely to like a punk elf.
Yeah, I love this. I love this kind of approach because you can study and be unique only with some simple things, and that's very, very strong to me. So really, really, really impressive.
Love it.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Amazing, this one as well.
This one was when I painted this one when I was like really studying non-metallic metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take Kirill as in as example, inspiration?
I mean, I look at Lan, I look at Kirill, I look at the way Mark do non-metallic. So yeah, I mean, I could try and take like what works from each of them and then introduce a bit of illustration style.
Okay.
So
Super nice.
Oh, this one. I never saw this one. Probably. I don't remember. Yeah.
No, it's quite recent, if I'm not wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, all of my figures are quite recent. But yeah, this one was at World Model Expo. This is a box art for Neko Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, playing with like having fun with different light sources, trying to silhouette the figure with the like neon light.
Yeah. So
Is this for Pittori Senza Gloria? It's perfect. It's a pink neon.
There's pinky there. So, yeah. This is the
Fantastic. Wonderful. I love this one. So when this is from the Hera Models Kickstarter and is very close to the end.
Yeah, I think it ends they're in the last 24 hours right now.
Okay. And it's to me it's just like the first one is a wonderful Kickstarter. So if you all want to check the KS, now it's time to buy the model, because I think they won't print anymore if not. So, and it's a big sheen about skeleton and dwarf having fun each other. So it's very nice.
This figure is huge. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
This figure is gigantic, by the way.
Whoa.
So this is like a regular 75 millimeter figure, right?
Wow.
I can actually switch. Oh, I can get fancy with my thing and go like this.
No, devi cliccare su Erik.
So,
oh wow.
So you can see like this is a 75, and this is the size of like the dwarf and the skeleton. So the whole scene with the other guy is massive.
Yeah. It's very close to 90 millimeters.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow.
By the way, this now we can see the sensation, the better sensation to have.
You want me to put the camera back on?
Really nice, because it seems bigger in pictures. It seems really huge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty large.
Yeah,
it's pretty large, but still stay in the hand. So nice.
Wow. I love it, really.
Wow,
amazing.
Wow.
So what's your favorite things to paint?
Except orcs.
Honestly, I don't know if I like fantasy probably more than sci-fi, but I tend to just enjoy like challenges.
Okay.
So whatever figure is going to like challenge me to try something new, it tends to be the figures I like the most. Obviously, I like the fantasy stuff, high fantasy guys in armor and
classic fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fancy armor, but anytime I get a chance to like really push some new aspect to whether it's like compositional or even a technique. Like I'm painting a figure right now I can't show, but it's like one of the most complex, like detailed armors I've ever painted, and I'm really trying to push the work on the non-metallic to achieve.
Wow.
To achieve like a realistic look, realistic in air quotes, right?
Okay.
And what about historical figures?
No. I actually have bought historical figures. I bought the 3 Spartans from Big Child.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're no historical. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, they're like on that weird edge between historical and 300 the comic book, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not. I think my biggest problem with historical figures is most of them just the posing is boring.
Yeah, it's quite.
So many of them are just like standing, like leaning on a rifle, or.
But you did a dwarf on a park. Is the same pose. Yeah, the same pose of a Napoleonic.
Sure.
Nice. We have a question from 2 guys.
How do you make that snow?
Check out my Instagram.
You did a video about that.
Really? Oh, let me see.
Yeah, and it's like 30 seconds long. It's really not that hard.
So let's talk about, in the meantime, that I move on with the pictures, let's talk about Adepticon. What are you going to do? And if you workshops, do you used to bring a specific topic or just free to paint?
No, so most of the classes, unless you run like a 2-day workshop where they're more broad scoped, the classes tend to be more focused. So I'm teaching an OSL class, I'm teaching a non-metallic metal class, and I'm teaching a Cast Shadows class. So they're all like very, very
specific
single sub-specific topic. Yeah.
Yes, nice. Are you already full, or this is?
Oh yeah, Adepticon's classes sell out in like hours.
Wow.
Totally.
Wow. That means that most of the people, trust you in your skills and what you can give.
It's not just me. There might be some classes still available for some other instructors. I'm not sure. There are still classes available for Nova though. In September.
So if you want to, we can type in somewhere in the comments or maybe in YouTube channel this kind of infos. Give us the infos and links and we can share. So another orc from World of Warcraft, I suppose. Yeah.
From World of Warcraft in air quotes, right? This was a piece sculpted by Joaquin that I painted for a collector. So he's a one-off.
Yeah, it's you can do custom. It. One you can do it. So no problem about that.
Wonderful.
I really love any aspects of this painting. The casted shadows are there, but I like the highlights. Warm shadows were quite cold with a bit of red in it, and the cold gold, so nice. They are very balanced.
Yeah, that's the point. I was speaking about that because if you see the picture, you look at green and red, and so you imagine green and red are very strong colors, but you made them with very quiet harmony, so it's fantastic to me. Yeah.
Totally. totally.
Yeah, I'm just stopped because I'm just captured by the pictures.
Yeah.
Sorry. So here we go. Another arc. There's a bit more blue here rather than here, obviously because you use red here and blue here. So
This was the first from Monte.
Yep. Yes, this was my entry in Monte of 2019.
Yeah. Why you decide to came to Monte? Somebody told you go to Monte, or it's just I saw that.
So I went to Crystal Brush in 2019, and I got nothing. And then I went to, which made me want to push harder.
Yeah.
And then I went to Nova that year and won a best of show. And then Alfonso basically said, "Well, if you really want to compete with the best in the world, you have to come to Monte." So.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who is your second favorite scorer?
I guess we're all just assuming Joaquin is my favorite, as he is. I should have just answered Joaquin and then let everybody speculate who the first is. But second favorite, I don't know. I think it's more about figures than necessarily sculptor a lot of the time. Like I could say Alex Oz, or I could say Alan Diego Carrasco.
Lucas.
Yeah. Lucas, I think, is one of the best, but he's not my favorite.
Okay.
He doesn't sculpt quite the style of figures that I tend to like.
Okay.
What
you painted more
for Golden Demon?
Wait, what? What I'm cooking for Golden Demon? It's a 75 millimeter Space Marine. I'll say that.
Okay. So another beautiful open. Best. And what do you think about contests like Golden Demon and contests open like the rest of the contest probably? So
this is a good question. I like this question.
With which question? Oh, what do I think of contests?
No.
The difference between Golden Demon and
so we can kind of separate this into two. So one, I 100% prefer like brand associated contests where they're open to whatever figures you want. And I 100% prefer open like judging systems. The only times I've ever seen any experienced any people like having actual drama or like arguments or negative feelings has been at the Golden Demon. It's the only time I really see like any jealousy, because you're limited to first, second, and third, and easily half the entries could be golds, right? But they have to pick 1, 2, and 3, right? Yeah. So you sometimes get questionable judging. That's like, if you had 3 other judges, they could have ranked it completely different. I don't know. I typically think like the Slayer sword is picked correctly.
Okay.
But even then, people would argue that with me in the last US Golden Demon.
Well,
so.
like the...
Yeah, we don't need to get into the whole skink versus Ben Comet's tank thing. But yeah, it just has more drama around it because of how few they can pick, right? So I tend to like the open judging, like a Monte or World Model Expo, Nova, things like that. It feels more like a celebration than it does a competition. Obviously, you're competing to try and do as best as you can, but you don't feel like you're against someone. Where at Golden Demon, it makes you feel like you're against the other painters.
Okay.
No, I don't agree with you. I think you're against the Games Workshop in real. You're not against. You're not against the other painters. Really. because you're doing your job just like every painter is doing. So it's you against the system, probably. I don't know.
Because you do your job, and then you say, okay, let's see if the judges from Games Workshop.
Well, that's the correct mentality to have, right? That you just do the best you can, and then whatever happens. Yeah. But that's not how people always feel.
Probably, but I don't know. I'm not stressed about maybe because it's 20 years that I do Golden Demon, and it's not stressing anymore. So just I saw so many painters having problems with judgment in Golden Demon, but I saw so many painters having problem in other contests too. So
true, but I think there's a difference between getting nothing and getting a silver versus a gold, right?
Sure. There's a big difference, but when you take part in a show and you have, I don't know, a bronze, you want a silver. When you have a silver, you want a gold. When you don't get nothing, you want a gold. So that's probably and I understand this because, as I always said, when you put your figures in the show, it's a part of yourself. So when the judge say you are not good, in a little part he said something that hurts you. So just a few seconds. That's the limit. Probably.
The other thing I think that you see a lot with Golden Demon that you don't see in other contests is you see people picking out the flaws in models a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even beyond just the judges, like when just people are walking around the cabinets, they tend to try and like find the things that are not good with the model as opposed to enjoying the model.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because of the rules not tell about the Golden Demon. So that's true. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Let's move on with other stuff here.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic too. Wow, I love the
lava.
Really love it.
Let's see if I got.
And this was a complete figure, or the head you took from another one.
That's a head from I think it's Krampus or something. It's a creature caster bust, and I just took the head from it because the bust fit into scale with the giant demons from the game. So
yeah.
The fun thing about that figure was doing the little embers and trying to make them look like they're floating. So at the end of painting that figure, I just had to paint like embers right on top of him and be like, I hope this looks right.
Okay.
Didn't you try this effect before on another miniature, or you?
No.
You went savage on this one.
Always.
Wonderful.
We've got another figure that Fabrizio shared with us this afternoon.
Yeah, I stole this figure from.
Can we show that?
Yeah, sure.
The orc, another orc,
a new orc.
Can we? It's a real
or an old orc, depending on how you think of it. It's a new old orc.
So, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared because we are going to show probably
spoiler. There's a spoiler here.
Can we do that? Yeah, come on. Here we go.
Wow!
Wonderful!
Wow! Really, really nice. This one looks so.
You change palette here with the green.
Yeah, he's actually much more yellow. He's It's like a lot of yellow mixed with black to make like a super desaturated green feeling.
Okay.
So there's actually a video. I recorded the entire video tutorial for this figure also. In the first hour, I painted this is a spoiler for the video, but for the first hour, I painted like one of my other orcs with like more vibrant, saturated green, and then an hour into it, I go, yeah, this isn't working. It doesn't. He looks too young and yeah. And so I just completely like changed the color of the skin tone like an hour into the video.
Fantastic.
This is interesting because you can see when something doesn't work, you can change. You pass the information that you can always change your mind.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Make errors. Let's grow you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then you don't have to be scared to change your mind or change you in the process, or you don't like something, you can change it.
And most of the improvements comes from mistakes. So recognize your mistakes. It's so important. So it's not a technical mistake. It's a mistake of your idea. It's everything. So this is really, really important if you want to grow and to learn more and more. I really like this paint because it seems come si dice morbido?
Smooth.
Smooth. The skin. I can feel the soft. It looks soft. Yeah.
He's got a lot of character, this figure.
Yeah.
Reminds
it's from
me.
Antonello. Antonello.
This is another one like the elf girl that I think people could interpret in a lot of ways. Yeah. Where maybe he's not an orc, maybe he's a troll, maybe he's and you could paint him with like more human flesh tones, maybe he's like a frost giant and his spikes coming out of his head are ice. Like so I think
stones.
Yeah.
Why he's got stones that come out from the head?
I don't know. Because it's a crown. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand orc anatomy. Maybe this type of orc grows stones. It's like horns or something.
We could ask it to Antonello one day, maybe in live. I don't know. He's a friend of us, so.
And also, it's really nice to see that light, cold light on the shoulder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
The leather with that icy blue in the lights.
Absolutely.
Very nice. You used one of your color is that ice blue, right? In the lights.
Yeah, I tend to do. I almost never use like pure white. I tend to use like a sunny skin tone or something a lot to get like a warm light, and then I'll use an ice blue to create cold lights. I find it just instead of doing like a regular front on light scheme to paint like a kind of secondary cold light helps silhouette the model a little bit more. That's like the illustration thing of having, a rim light on one side to help create a better silhouette.
Sorry, I'm reading also the comments around there.
So Erik, I have another question that last time with Mark I asked, and was a quite complex reply from him. So if you could use Vittorio Senza Gloria time machine and you could travel 1, 5, or 10 years in the past and talk to yourself, what advice would you say to the younger version of Erik Swinson?
Buy Bitcoin?
Except that, because it will be absolutely A great advice.
But like, painting advice, I don't know. I feel like my journey has been pretty good, so I don't really have any complaints about how things have gone. And I don't think I'd really want to change anything.
Okay.
Maybe I would say like when I first started, like reaching out to people, right? Like, don't be afraid to like reach out to someone. I know a lot of the pros can be like they can be pretty busy, but now you've got like Patreon for everyone, and information is so accessible. I learned most of my painting like sitting in my room and just looking at stuff and trying to achieve what I saw from, Kirill or Mark or Sergio or whoever. But now you have access to learning from these guys. I think I would just like get better faster if I could go back.
Okay. Are there some specific patterns that you should
Suggest.
I mean, Miniature Art Academy is pretty great. Alfonso does a lot of great work on there. I haven't checked out all of them, so I can't speak to everybody. But he's the guy that really helped me improve. He made me good fast.
Okay. Absolutely.
What do you think that the miniature community or miniature business is going to be in next future? I mean, do you have an idea where we're going or where we can go?
I mean, I know from personal experience, the like box art painters also becoming content creators is more of a normal thing. Like now companies want you to create tutorials and everything for stretch goals for Kickstarters. I mean, things are just getting crazy. I think you're going to see more and more like crazy figures as 3D sculpting and printing gets, a little cheaper, more accessible. Things like that. Things like the Hera project and stuff. People are just going to get crazier and crazier ideas.
And also, we've got the chance to have a 3D printers in our own houses. So probably the future will be in STL files and
right now I don't think STLs are the best thing because I don't think you can create. I understand that companies want to create a figure and they want the quality control to create as nice of a figure as possible, and releasing it as an STL that you can't control that, right? But I think as they get better and better, you might start to see it more, or they might have to. Companies have to adapt,
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that we are going to see more content from the company. I mean, from the companies. I mean the workshops or specific videos sold by them.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely going. I think you're going to see that's already happening, right?
Yeah, that's already happening. The colors brand, the brushes, and but that's not bad in my point of view.
No, I think it's just another way to connect with people, right? It's like the human connection of you become associated with the. I think already that people have a bigger connection to painters than they do to companies, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is a good question because do you think figures will become cheaper or more expensive? Looking at Games Workshop is going to rise.
I think they're going to become more expensive, but crazier, like more, just bigger and more complex. But I think you're also going to see it go the other way a little bit too, where people are going to start making, because obviously people see stuff like Lucas how well Lucas's figures do, and like the figures like Shiv, the girl I painted the tattoos on, figures like that are really popular because they're more approachable.
They're fast to paint.
Yeah, they're fast to paint. So I think you're going to see a bit of both. You're going to see more stuff like that, and then you're also going to see more like ambitious projects.
Stu is asking if with the 3D printing we need companies. I think yes, because we were just saying that the companies are changing probably the business. The figure is a part of the business, not all. I mean, this is my point of view. Absolutely. And for this, I think also that the gaming company will grow up like a Games Workshop. But let's see Simon with Zombicide and other game that that get closer to the person who loves to paint figures. I think that is going to be, I mean, many aspects of the business. Not probably a company that makes just the figures is going to not to have a longer life. I think.
I mean, box artists are your marketing arm, basically, right? They're how a lot of people find out about some of these figures. There's a ton of Patreons out there where you can buy all hundreds of STLs for like $5, and you don't see anybody painting them.
Yeah, you're right.
But you see, a ton of whatever the latest Lucas sculpt is. Lucas is somehow a special case though, where he doesn't need a box artist; his figures sell themselves.
Yeah. That's a unique case.
Special case. Yeah. Wonderful. So, there.
What do you want to paint in the next future?
What do I want to paint?
Yeah, in the next future, there's something that you have in your box, and you've never painted, and you want to paint it.
I've always wanted to paint the Belafonte. I still want to paint it at some point. It's sitting on this shelf, like right behind me.
He's waiting for you.
Yeah, just look at me. I want to paint that figure at some point.
Okay, so 20 days before Monte.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that, like, if I could just like take a month off of doing box artwork, I would just probably try and tackle that one. Yeah. I want to paint the bigger stuff. Yeah,
bigger stuff.
Yeah, I want to paint not scale, but like more ambitious big projects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So complex figure or maybe dioramas or something like that. Yeah. I like also the idea to paint something bigger in scale, not 1/4, but maybe 1.
I don't want anything that's gonna break my. I don't want anything that's gonna break my wrist trying to paint it.
That's the limit. Okay.
Yeah. Warlord Titan, like I said, way too big. No, if I can't hold it in my hands, then it's too large.
A Warlord Titan.
No, please.
Huge.
So your next one show will be Adepticon, and then you said
Adepticon, and then MFCA is in late May, I think.
Late May.
Yeah,
that's in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and then there's Nova, and then SMC, and then Monty. It's a lot of traveling.
Okay. And the same. Always the same ring. Okay.
Are you planning to come in Europe to make workshop, or?
That is the plan at the moment. Yeah. So teach a workshop hopefully in Copenhagen, and one in. So I'd come for SMC. I'd teach a workshop in Copenhagen, in Lyon, and Augsburg.
Okay. Oh, fantastic.
And then go to Monty.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it will be a long trip. Yeah.
Maybe is there space to organize one more, or maybe in Italy? I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Stefano.
So are you going to be in tournée? We say in tournée, in tour.
Yeah.
Tour. Good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Workshops, Turkai.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
more workshops. Dimmi.
Say if you don't have any more questions.
Yeah.
Not really, but I was just reading the comments.
Okay.
Let's see. MFCA is early May.
Okay.
See you there. Wendy Rafalski said.
I will see you there. That's the plan.
Okay.
This will be my first MFCA. I get to meet a bunch of the American historical painters.
Yes. Yes.
I've never been, but I heard some stories about that.
I've never been there in real, but my figures did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's pretty historical competition. Yeah. And lots of, collectors. Do you have any favorite product? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the two with Joaquin are very special to me. So they both hold like a special place because one was my first time attending a show in Europe, and then obviously the Minotaur is best of shows, like dream come true. So yeah, I'd say those are probably my two favorites.
Yeah.
But they're two I still own. They're mine. I have them in the cabinet back there.
So it was 100% your the first work. Wasn't a commission for an author. Super nice.
Seems you did commissions. Since you do commission. When you start to make commission?
When did I start? Okay.
Yeah.
I started, I guess it was like 2 years ago. I went full time commission painting, and now, but I started a little before that doing like some small stuff for Privateer Press. But yeah, I think it's been almost 2 years now that I've been full time.
Wow.
Okay, because I can see your cabinet behind you with a lot. You said you always say, "Oh, I got in my cabinet. I got in my cabinet." I mean, it seems that you love your figures and you don't want to leave.
No, I don't mind about letting them go. But there are some, and actually, I have quite a few figures from other people in the cabinet.
Nice.
I've got one from Dave. I've got one from Tamer Widerspan. I've got one from Roman Lapat in the cabinet right now. So,
wow.
Me too. In my cabinets, I've got a few figures from the other painters because I love more than mine. So
I'm waiting on my one for this year from Secret Santa. Who am I gonna get?
Okay, guys.
Okay, so if we will meet here in Europe for sure, and thank you very much, Erik. Really,
thanks for having me.
You're really. It's always nice to meet you, and I think I will remember forever your face in Monte during the during the
ceremony.
The ceremony, yeah, it was amazing, really, and so thank you very much, really.
Thank you,
and thank you, and also because it's the first time that I interview a Viking, so.
I feel like it's part of my image now. I can never shave. If I came to Monty completely clean shaved with my haircut, no one would even recognize me.
Yeah, correct. You are not allowed to shave yourself. So
I'll I'll enter under a pseudonym. I'll put it under a different name, and everybody will be like, "Who's this guy?"
That's a talent.
You and Tue are Vikings for us.
Absolutely.
You can go to Monte on Friday with a beard and then shave. Crazy.
Maybe make a T-shirt with I'm
I'm Erik.
No, really. So thank you all, and I
Absolutely.
think if there are no more questions, thank you very much to all the people who came to say ciao and to ask something. We will do another show next week. It's good. It's okay. Yeah, next week.
Next week. Okay.
Next week, and thank you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Yeah, next week we will be just hour. I mean, just
Pittori senza gloria. Yeah,
just Pittori senza gloria, waiting for the other Viking, Tue.
Yeah.
Soon.
Wonderful.
Yeah. You have to.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
thank you, everyone.
See you all.
Ciao.
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 Ciao a tutti. Grazie, Erik. Thank you, Erik. It was an honor to have you here.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Bye.